Welcome back. Well, we got a special conversation lined up with the Chairman and MD of REC, Mr. Vivek Kumar Dewangan. Hi, sir. Good morning and good to see you. And thanks a lot for speaking to us here on CNBC TV18. Well, first, let's get a couple of numbers out of the way. For this year, you had raised your disbursement guidance for FY25. So what are you working with right now? If you could help us out with that number. And what does it mean for AUM growth as well?
Yeah. Last year, our disbursement was the highest ever. Last year, we had disbursed 1,61,000 crore. But in the current financial year, in Q1, our disbursement was 43,652 against Q1 of last year of 34,133 crore, which has shown an increase of 28%. So we are quite confident that this disbursement will increase further and will be able to achieve disbursement to the tune of about 1,90,000 crore in the current financial year. With regard to asset under management, last year our asset under management had grown by 17% from 4,35,000 crore to 5,09,000 crore. In the Q1 of the current financial year, our asset under management has grown to 5,30,000 crore. So, in the quarter, if we compare Q1 year-on-year basis, our AUM has increased by 17%. So we hope that we'll be able to clock total asset under management to the tune of about 5,85,000 crore to about 6 lakh crore. In between this figure, we'll be able to achieve.
And that will be a percentage increase of how much, sir? Because we offhand don't have the immediate math with us. What is the AUM increase you're planning this year?
Around 17%.
17%. Okay.
Got it. All right. So 17% AUM growth with disbursements of around 1.9 lakh crore. Got that. You know, before we get more company specific, I actually wanted to ask you about the health of the state discoms. Could you help us out with, how that's functioning? Because I recall the outstanding amount was more than 1 lakh. And then it steadily came down. But in the last few months, actually, that number has been more or less stable, I think at around 30,000 odd. So could you tell us how's the health right now of the state discoms and how do you see it pan out going ahead?
Two major reform measures have been taken by Ministry of Power, Government of India. This revamped distribution sector scheme has really brought in quite a discipline among the distribution companies. This RDSS is to improve the financial and operational efficiency of the distribution companies. You might have observed that AT&C losses have come down quite significantly in the last financial year. Nowadays around 15.4%. From 22% it has come down to 15.4%. Similarly, the government department dues have also come down quite significantly, and the legacy subsidy dues have also come down significantly. In addition, Ministry of Power had also introduced this late payment surcharge rule, which was notified in June 2022. Thereafter, the distribution companies have been clearing the dues of transmission companies and generating companies. Current dues are being paid regularly, and the legacy dues are getting cleared in equated monthly installment maximum for a period of 4 years. So it started from June 2022. By the end of May 2026, we hope that all these legacy dues of Gencos and transmission companies would be liquidated. So this has really improved the overall health of the distribution companies, more so because this result evaluation framework under RDSS is quite strict. And if the states are not able to secure more than 60 marks out of the 100 marks under result evaluation framework, they'll not be able to get Government of India grant. So all the states and distribution companies are making proactive, they are taking proactive measures to achieve this result evaluation framework targets.
Got that, sir. So on this point itself, the older dues are getting converted into EMIs and you're expecting all of that to be cleared by 2026, if I got that number correct. Yeah. What is the last updated number, though? Around 27 to 30,000 crores? Is that the last updated number?
Yeah. Because there are two things. Earlier, when we had started, the legacy subsidy dues were to the tune of about 1,35,000 crore. And this dues have come down significantly to about 40,000 crore. So we hope that by the end of June 2026, all these legacy dues would be liquidated.
Right. Mr. Dewangan, good morning, sir. Prashant here. Last couple of years have been good, right? As you've said, some of these schemes which penalize states for not sort of keeping up with their payments, etc., and all of that has worked very well. But some have pointed out that we are starting the next wave of populist spending across states. That could have an impact on state finances going forward. I mean, we're at the start of it, another one. 3 states are going to polls now, over the next couple of months, more later. We've seen many of these schemes, not especially on the power side, but generally, you would agree. Would you worry about it?
Actually, this prepaid smart meter is going to be the real game changer. Out of 25 crore prepaid smart meters, about 14 crore have already been awarded. And now in the current financial, this installation of prepaid smart meters will pick up. This prepaid meter installation is going to be the real game changer because collection and billing efficiency of distribution companies will improve substantially because the consumer will be paying the electricity bill in advance through prepaid meter system.
But that is just one of the ways, right? I mean, the point is, if a state wants to be populist and wants to kind of give free power, for example, right? I mean, would a prepaid smart meter stand in the way? I mean, it's one of the routes to implement discipline, but would it stand in the way of a state wanting to do it?
No, this prepaid smart meter is regarding collection and billing efficiency. With regard to the freebies or the incentives being given by the state governments, what has happened that under RDSS, the state governments are committed through their cabinet resolution to pay their subsidy in quarterly installment. Like for quarter 2 subsidy, it is being paid in quarter 1. So this system is 99% states are paying the subsidy quarterly in advance. So I don't think it is going to affect. Let them decide to give whatever benefits they want to give a particular cross-section of the people. But they are adhering that they are paying to the distribution companies subsidy quarterly in advance.
And for the benefit of our viewers, RDSS is a revamped distribution sector scheme, and we came here after a long and difficult road and journey to get some of these schemes implemented and to get the DISCOM dues lower. And we hope that, obviously, that reform process is not thrown into reverse gear. Sir, just want to come to now some of the business parameters and really strategically, what is the roadmap ahead for REC? If I look at your AUM mix, generation, which I guess you classify largely as thermal generation, that's about almost a lakh 50. Renewable energy is about 43,000, and of course transmission and distribution is a very big chunk of your overall portfolio. Now, going forward, will you be focusing more on renewable or will it continue to be thermal? Because even on thermal, there's a huge amount of capacity being added, right? We all know the target 80 gigawatts by 2032. So where will growth come in from? Will you chase renewable also? What is profitable? In terms of just perhaps better yields? Because your NIMs have been looking very good this quarter, but now I'm asking for a vision for, let's say, at least the next year and a half. Yeah.
In fact, as I had told in my initial opening remarks, that we are targeting growth about 17% in our asset under management. And by the end of 2030, we are targeting asset under management to the tune of about 10 lakh crore. And we are giving a special focus on renewable energy projects, covering the entire gamut of renewable energy projects, be it solar, wind, hybrid solar wind, the solar module manufacturing, wind turbine manufacturing, storage system, be it battery energy storage or pump storage hydro projects, green hydrogen, green ammonia, electric vehicle, and the associated charging infrastructure. Right now, as you rightly pointed out, our loan book for renewable energy sector is about 43,000 crore. This will see a substantial jump in next 5 to 6 years. By the year 2030, we are targeting renewable energy portfolio about 3 lakh crore. And
allow me to understand. Sorry, if you could just allow me to come in and understand. So the reason I'm asking renewables is that there are other agencies like IRDA, for example, right? I'm just trying to understand whether lending to the renewable sector is more profitable or whether thermal makes more business sense for you, or whether it's equal in terms of yields. And therefore, what should we expect on margins over the next 1 year, let's say, on net interest margins from a yield perspective? And then you tell us the cost side as well, the cost of funds.
From yield perspective, definitely coal-based generation gives us a better yield as compared to the renewable energy projects. But there also our margins are quite healthy with regard to renewable energy project. Where since Government of India has decided that they are going to install country will require about 94 gigawatt capacity by the year 2032. So they will see that there will be substantial loan book growth in terms of coal-based generation. And with regard to renewable energy, since it is intermittent in nature, country will still require coal-based capacity, which is going to provide base load. So we see that we'll see growth of about 17% in both renewable energy projects also and in coal-based generation capacity loan for REC. And our market share so far in both renewable energy and conventional coal-based generation has been about 20%. We hope to maintain our market share of 20% in both the renewable energy as well as in coal-based generation capacity.
Okay, all right. That was going to be my next question then, sir. Just before we let you go, banks are sniffing there's a big opportunity as well, and they're gradually trying to up the ante in your space. Do you think the pie is big enough and everyone can grow out there? And I ask you this because your lending rate is still close to around 10%. Which is quite elevated. Is there a risk to that 9.99% yield that you're getting currently? And what does it mean for NIMs from here on? You've been holding at around 3.6%. Do you think you can continue?
Yes, we have done a detailed analysis. We'll be able to hold on to our spread of about 2.8 to 3%, and our net interest margin will be around 3.5 to 3.7%. That will be able to hold on. With regard to this yield from renewable energy projects, it varies from 9 to 10% depending on the rating of the entity which is implementing this renewable energy projects. So we hope that we'll be able to hold on to our spread and net interest margin because we are making continuous efforts to reduce our cost of fund. It has come down quite substantially. Last year, our cost of fund was 7.28%. It was brought down to 7.13%. And in the Q1 of the current financial year, our cost of fund has come down to 7.05%. And we have also increased certain, because we had not increased our lending rate for a long time. It will be evaluating, and if required, lending rate by the banks will have to remain competitive in the market, and will be offering a competitive interest rate.
Absolutely. Mr. Dewangan, all the best to that and to your team, which is executing well. Thank you very much. You find yourselves in a upcycle, and we're happy to sort of bring that story to our viewers. Thank you very much for being here on CNBC TV18. The stock's on your screen. 600 odd is where it is at.